Today I want to talk to you because it is the new moon. I want to talk to you a little bit about manifestation. All right, this idea of creating the life that we've always wanted, bringing into and calling into our lives whatever it is that we want and we desire. Right, so. For those who might not know me, I am Tiara, aka T, and I love to live a life that is bubbly, thus the name A Bubbly Life. So, A Bubbly Life came up through the fact that, in a former life, I still work in the wine industry. The fact that I work in the wine industry and people often ask me, what is my favorite kind of wine? And I'm like, honestly, it depends on the day, it depends on what I'm eating, but legit, if someone has bubbles and someone offers me bubbles, meaning champagne, Prosecco, California sparkling wine, or whatever state sparkling wine, I said champagne, cava, all of those things, like anything that has bubbles in it, as long as it's of a good quality, I'm down for it. Yes, friends, bubbles carry alcohol to your brain faster, so you drink less and still get a great buzz. I love it. It also makes me feel happy and light and bubbly. Yeah. Also play on words of the fact that so many people have told me throughout my life, you're so bubbly. Yes. Oh my God, I want to live a life like you. You look like you have so much fun. And I do. So tying in my favorite style of wine, tying in the fact that people have called me bubbly throughout my whole life, and tying in the fact that, when I think of bubbly, I think of expansion, I think of happiness, I think of freedom, bubbles move freely and all of this stuff. So I adore it, right? So a bubbly life is living a life that you adore, living a life that you love, loving yourself, loving you as you are, where you are, loving everything, and romancing your life, friend. So that's kind of where it all came from. And with that, the idea of we are the creators of our life, therefore we can experience whatever it is that we desire. We can have and do and be anything and everything that we want in this life. We just have to, quote unquote, do the work. Do the work, whatever that freaking looks like. Even if it looks like a helicopter flying over your head and you have to just continue to talk over it. It's fine. Doing the work. Really, we talk about manifesting and we talk about getting in alignment oftentimes. And people say, yeah, you just got to get in alignment. And a lot of people see getting into alignment as sitting in meditation. And while that is a step that can definitely be a part of getting into alignment, we talk about that. But a lot of times we don't really get into the nitty gritty of what getting into alignment really involves. And really it is the process, at least to me, it is the process of preparing yourself for bringing in whatever it is that you're looking for, right? So if you're I want to have a successful business, I want to be 6-figure earner, 7-figure earner, 20-figure earner, whatever it is that you want in your life, right? But if we're looking at a business, right out the gate, you're not going to be a 20-figure earner with your business. If you've never ran a business before in your life, you have no sort of business background, you have no one that that's in business, none of these things are happening. Thank you for the likes, thank you for the follows. You have none of this going on in your life. 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to have a 20-figure business day 2 of your business, right? There are things that need to be set up. You need to your website, your logo, your branding, your messaging, your all of these things, right? There are so many things that need to be set up in place. You need to have a solid foundation before you get to the space that you want to be in, right? So if you are saying, I want this, you have to prepare yourself for it, right? If you are creating this business and you have this trajectory that you want to go for, then what you're doing is you're setting up a good foundation. So that is basically what getting in alignment is. It's the process of setting up your foundation. What do you need to have in place so that you are ready, so that you can match up, so that the divine timing, as we talk about, can connect with what you're trying to bring into fruition and what you are actively doing in your life, what the inspired actions are for yourself and for your life. Does that make sense? I'm going to sip some agua. So with that, friend, I'm just saying, like, as we are in this new moon phase, which I love. If you're not familiar with the moon phases, there are 9 phases to the moon. And if you don't know a whole lot about it, I have a friend, Angela Kay, the intuitive creatrix. If you go into my link in bio, you can probably find a link, or just message me. Actually, I think I haven't created my favorite things page on my website. See, foundation, right? I have to create the foundation before I can start sending people that way. I have switched. I used to have a link tree, right? I had a link tree that had links to all of these different things, and then I created, or I worked with someone to create a website, and now I have this website that is like live and working, but there are still different things that I need to set in place so I can get to, my affiliates and things like that, right? So I need my favorite things page is going to be an affiliates page. But for right now, I now have it set up where you just DM me or message me or whatever, and I can get you the affiliate for that. So like, if Angela, the intuitive creatrix online, if you look her up, she talks a lot about the moon and the different phases of the moon and how to leverage that energy. And so I'm like talking today on a new moon. And often with the new moon, it is a time for new intentions, and new intentions lead into manifestations, or you can call it goal setting. You can call it whatever it is that you want. It is, at the end of the day, it's all about, where you are now and where you want to be, and like creating that focus, right? Creating that focus so that we can do the things that get us in alignment, do the things that calibrate us towards the thing that we want to be or do or see or whatever, and bring all of that in, okay? All right, so with that, I'm feeling called to pull a couple of cards for the collective. And when I do a collective card reading, that is really all about bringing in a message for anybody and everybody that is able to see this message, that sees it. And because it is collective, that means that it is geared towards an entire group. So maybe something comes through that's meant for like 1 or 2 people that will see the message, but maybe not meant for you, and that is okay. Not every part of the message will like necessarily resonate, and if it doesn't, that's cool. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if everything resonates, that's amazing and that's awesome, and I'm super excited for you. And if nothing resonates, well, okay, that message wasn't meant for you. Maybe you have surpassed or gone through more than other people that are receiving this message, or maybe you're not to the point yet for the message to hit in the right place, right? And maybe you need to do a little bit more work, and then when you come back, maybe you rewatch the video or whatever, and then oh boom, like that message hits. Like, have you ever had in your life where someone says something to you and it means like nothing, and you're like whatever, and then like a little while later someone says the exact same thing? It maybe not the same person, but a different person might say something quite similar, and it's like life affirming, right? Right? And that's because like the first time we heard it might not be like where we are in our life, and that might not be like what we need, but then later on it actually just like it has so much more meaning because we've had more experience, we've gone through more things. All right, so let's get to this message, friends. Thank you for the likes, thank you for the follows, thank you, friends. Ooh, I love this. Okay. So these cards are from the Threads of Fate deck. The first card that came up for us today is boundaries. So when we're looking at our boundaries, we have like this picture of an armadillo here, and when you like look at an armadillo, right, they have all of this thick skin, yes, this thick barrier that prevents predators from getting in, like prevents the outside forces from breaking their shell and getting to the vulnerable, tender, meaty places of their body, and it protects them physically. So when we talk about boundaries, we're not necessarily talking about our own physical boundaries. While, I mean, yeah, sure, if we want to wear battle armor, that's a personal choice depending on where you are. That actually might be a safe thing to do. But emotionally, and I guess metaphorically, these boundaries that we're setting ourselves up to understand that not everybody gets to get to that, like, that vulnerable, squishy place in our heart, right? Like, not everyone gets access to all of us, and we get to choose who gets what pieces and parts of us, and we get to choose whether or not we're going to take anybody's bullshit. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, we get to choose. These are boundaries for our lives, right? These are, what are we willing to accept and what we're not willing to accept, and being able to communicate that with the people around us, the things around us, even our freaking jobs. Like, we can let people know, like, you know what, this is in my job description, so you don't get the chance to, like, pay outside of my pay grade unless you were giving me more than that pay grade. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Right? Creating boundaries and standing firm in who we are and where we want to be. And when we are connecting into who we want to be, we are connecting to heart. Yes. Ooh, look at little puppies. Oh, I love it. Dogs are so loyal. Yes. When anybody is a dog owner, you know that it is like this unconditional love, right? Like, there's nothing more exciting than, like, opening a door and someone's like, I'm so excited to see you, I love you, maybe feed me, maybe walk me, right? Right? Like, and that's all they need, right? Like, they just need love. And so when we're connecting into that heart, thinking of, like, a really excited puppy, like, where can we love ourselves more? How can we unconditionally love ourselves more? How can we tap into what do we truly need in this life, in this space, right here in this moment? Is it a walk? Is it some food? Is it a little bit of a cuddle? Like, what is it that we really need? And so when we slow down and we tap in and connect in to our heart, we know what it is that we want. We can focus in on what we're wanting in our life. And when we focus, that's where, that manifesting happens, right? When we're focusing, we know we can see the opportunities that feel more like the way that we want to go in life versus the way that, like, the things that we don't want to call in anymore, right? And that taps into those boundaries again. So, when we realize what we don't want, then we can put a boundary around it. We don't want to work with this. We don't want to handle this. We don't want to deal with this. We're creating this boundary so that we can connect more with the things that light our heart up, that connect more with our heart, that bring us more joy, bring us more fun, bring us more freedom, love, all of those things, and compassion. Like, I love how cards, like, they, like, tie in together, right? So when we're feeling that compassion, right, you're feeling that, those vibes, that resonance, that amazing feeling. Not only do we know where to go, not only do we see the opportunities in front of us as the opportunities that they are, as the expansion that they are, we also put that energy back out into the world. Yes, like, when you smile at someone and they smile back, that is a transfer of energy, that is a transfer of compassion. And what would this world be like if we all were just a little bit more compassionate to each other, right? If we were all just a little bit more loving to each other, all a little bit more willing to share a smile. Just a smile. A smile ain't gonna cost you anything, and it works more muscles in your face, and it helps you to get clear and, like, beautiful skin. It's just, smiling is good. It releases endorphins. Oh, getting too excited, right? Knocking the phone down. It's a smile can do so many wonderful, amazing, and lovely things. Yes. So, giving compassion, seeing compassion, and feeling compassion. Follow the feeling of compassion. Are good things coming to you? Of course. If you allow it, if you open yourself up to it, so much. If you see it, yeah? I talked about a little bit ago when we were talking about what we're trying to manifest, what we're trying to bring in. When we are focusing on, like, we see what we want, We want these good things, yes? And then we focus on these good things. We focus on the energy. We focus on how we want to feel in these moments. And then we see the opportunities that come in front of us that bring us more towards that. And we accept those opportunities. If we see those opportunities and actually do the freaking thing, maybe you have a friend who invites you to a party and like you're sitting in this space of like, I want a partner. I want a new relationship. I want all of these things. And a friend invites you to a party and you're like, nah, I also want to be lazy and sit on my couch. But what if the person that you are looking to meet is at that party, right? So opportunity is coming to you. That person's not going to just like knock on your door and deliver you a pizza. I mean, maybe they are a pizza delivery person. I don't know. But 9 times out of 10, they're not just going to knock on your door and ask to borrow a cup of sugar. And does anyone knock on people's door and ask for sugar anymore? I don't think that's a thing. But like, with that being said, if like, no one's just showing up to your house, sitting on your couch and watching Netflix is not going to bring those things to you, right? You've got to do things. You've got to see the opportunity in front of you as like, my friend invited me to a party. Not only is it an opportunity to spend time with your friend, not only is it an opportunity to get out of your home, like regardless of like all the situations that are going on, like, I'm just offering an example, right? But like, barring the panorama is what I'm saying. There's an opportunity to connect, right? Connect with your heart, yeah? Connect and expand a little bit more, meet new people, collaborate, and potentially meet that person, right? That's an opportunity to meet someone. You're not going to meet someone sitting on the couch 9 times out of 10, unless you're scrolling through an app, which that's meant for that. And that is up to you. That is also your choice. But notice that is also still taking an action. If you've downloaded the app and you're scrolling through the app and you're actually like intentional about like how you're swiping, yes, sure, cool. You can meet someone from your couch, but you see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't just like, you're not just sitting there doing nothing and all of a sudden, I don't know, someone falls through your ceiling. I hope they don't fall you through your ceiling, because that's a ceiling that you have to fix, and they may or may not be like in pain. So you see what I'm saying, right? There was still an action that has to be taken, right? So action, we talk about inspired action, yes? So inspired action is that like intuitive hit. Like we see an opportunity in front of us, whether it's someone inviting us somewhere, maybe we're scrolling through Facebook and there's like a job posting, and you've been thinking about getting a new career, and you see a friend has posted that their company is hiring something, and you're like, oh, I might not be qualified for it, but that sounds interesting. And your intuition is saying that sounds interesting. Look into it. Maybe if you like apply and you look into it, whatever, maybe you get hired for it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you meet the boss of the company and they're like your next partner. Maybe they're like, you are super awesome and you don't fit this thing, but like we have another opportunity that we're actually getting ready to open up that you'd be perfect for. So like in a month you have a career change. But you still had to apply to the thing, right? Like you saw the post, you felt something about it that felt good to you, and then you took the action, right? It's not just like we can't keep swiping. We've got to slow down and then like do the action, right? That is getting us continuously more in alignment with what we're trying to call in. All right, so that is the message that I have for you today. I hope the divination and all of that resonated with you. Take what does and leave what doesn't. That's totally fine. If you do want a one-on-one session, you can always go to my link in bio and book your own one-on-one session. There's also the A Bubbly Life membership, where we do the radical self-responsibility to make sure that we're continuing to do the actions to create the life that we always lived. And I also do many divination sessions inside that community as well. So those are all the places and spaces you can connect more with me. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. If you know anyone that might like resonate with this message, please like invite them, share it, do all the things. And I love you so, so much. Mwah.